Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with InvestorMore, and many of you may recognize this property. It is my old neighbor Billy's place where he was staying at, probably rent-free. We're not sure how we got this place. There's no water, no heat, but it recently sold, and I was pretty surprised at the sale price. We'll talk about that here in a second. I own the property next door, bought it 2 years ago now. Maybe it's been longer than that. Time flies. But we first met Billy kind of walking over by the property, and then he'd broken in one time and flooded the place. He had a real tough life, had a bunch of dogs, and we tried to help out Billy when we could. We bought him dog food before and brought him food and gave him money once in a while. But unfortunately, last year Billy passed away. We're not sure what happened. We just heard that from some of the neighbors or one of our tenants maybe. And we always saw Billy hanging around, and then we hadn't seen him for a while, so we got kind of worried about him, and unfortunately, the worst did happen. But after Billy passed, they put this property up for sale, and I don't know if they're just waiting for him to leave or have something happen. We think they bought it from the tax sale pretty cheap and just never did anything to this property. But it's rough, as you can see, and this is a video I did when it was for sale, and who knows how long Billy was here or how long this property was vacant. There's actually an engineer who occupied it last, as far as we know. And since then, years and years ago, it's just been sitting here. So this is actually after they cleaned it up. It did not smell good in here at all. There was no working bathroom. Like I said, no working water. I think he came over to my place to get water for his dogs one time and never turned the water off, and that's how he flooded it. I have a video on that I'll try and link to below. And Billy was still a nice guy. I don't think he did anything on purpose. We also found him over there one time. He'd kind of broken in and was completely out of it, and called EMS and got him some help then. But yeah, it was crazy. I don't know how he got into this situation. So they had listed this property at $340,000, which I thought was insane. I could not believe they listed it for so much. I bought my property for $865,000 a few years ago, and it had 3 acres and 3 water taps and 4 buildings and 14,000 square feet. And to think that this is about, half of that price is pretty crazy. So I had speculated when this first came up for sale 10 months ago that it was worth around $100,000. I didn't want it. People suggested I buy it. I don't know what you would do with it. You'd have to fix it up completely, and then someone might even tear it down. But then I don't know if the lot's worth that much. So anyway, a few months ago they lowered the price to $299. And I was like, they're getting closer, but they still have a long way to go. And I was really, really surprised to see it had actually sold on the MLS a few days ago. I'm a licensed real estate broker, so I'm always looking at the hot sheets, which are updates to the MLS multiple listing service where new properties show up, sold properties show up. So I see that data all the time. And I was looking there, saw this property, and I thought, that must be Billy's. And it actually sold for $170,000. So it sold for $120,000 below list, which it's rare to see a property sell that much below list. But not surprising with this property, it sold for so much less. I'm actually surprised it sold for that much with the condition it was in. The land, it's got a 1/4 acre lot, I think. Maybe it's a little bigger than that. It might be bigger because it's really deep, but it's so narrow. In fact, why don't we look at how deep it is real quick? All right, so we're in Weld County, Colorado, and the assessor has a pretty nice little map search tool where you can look up properties and the owners and anything you really want. But we're going to go to his property, if I get to the right place here, and see how big that lot is. So this is his right here. You can see it's real narrow, and it has a real completely unusable spot right here. Don't know what that's for. And this property they're actually fixing up and redoing as well. And I just also saw they're laying a pipeline right along here. So I don't know what all that's for, but lots of stuff happening around my property. So if we look at the property report, we can see The building, 1,120 square feet, built in 1957. So it's nothing to write home about. Not a large building at all. And then, yeah, there's the building. Where is the lot size? Wow, I've never seen this before. They have a picture of it from before when it was an engineering place. It looked pretty decent. It wasn't bad back then. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, we're still trying to find, where is the lot size? Acres, 0.169 acres. So it's not even a quarter acre. I was wrong. So I'm pretty surprised it sold for that much. And I had actually tried to buy this property 5-6 years ago too, before I bought the other one. It was for sale for like $79,000 or something, super cheap. And just the agent was just awful. I couldn't get inside to set a showing, couldn't get a hold of the agent. I even sent them an offer just without even seeing it, never responded to it, never got back to me, never answered a call, never answered an email. So obviously nothing happened with this. So like I said, the lot's not that big. I think they took this carport out because it was pretty messed up and not worth anything, and not really sure what they're going to do with it. So I guess we'll find out. We'll definitely have some updates on it and see if someone cleans it up, tears it down, moves a business in here. It will be really interesting to see what happens with it now that it has sold. And actually, let's see if, was that the new owner or is it still not updated? I can look at the document history. That was still the previous owner. It says they bought it for $13,000 in 2020. I think that was from the tax sale. So before that, it sold for $125,000 in 2015. Sold for $55,000 in 2014. Sold for $60,000 in 2006. So it's been all over the place. But yeah, $170. That seems crazy. So I guess the guy paid $13,000 for it, was okay letting Billy to stay there for a while, and then sold it for $170. So he came out okay. But it's pretty rare you have those tax lien sales that actually end up where you get the property, especially in Colorado. It's pretty rare that ever happens. All right. Thanks for watching. That's the property. We'll have updates on what happens there. And of course, we'll have more updates on my property too. It looks a little better than this now. If anything is exciting there. Take care. Be back soon.